8:13 on this Thursday morning as we are joined by renowned, acclaimed, internationally recognized psychic and medium Chip Coffey. Welcome to Breakfast Television.
How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Tara Sloan is the host of Breakfast Television in Calgary. She just saw me tweet that you were here, and in all caps, she said, "I love Chip Coffey."
What's not to love?
Well,
Really?
hey, you have a nation, you have a myriad of followers that buy into your message, and this is one that's a personal experience for you and has been since childhood, as we understand it.
I've been doing this for a long time. I grew up in a haunted house for part of my life in upstate New York, back in the States. So I've always had some sort of tie to the paranormal, I think, all my life.
Now, was this something that as a child that felt somewhat foreign to you or somewhat abnormal? Were you noticing things as just a young boy?
Didn't feel really abnormal. I wasn't really put down or doubted because of my abilities. My great-grandmother was a Native American medicine woman and shaman. My grandmother on my dad's side read tea leaves, so when they had a psychic kid, they didn't think it was anything weird.
So as a child, for you, what was your experience like? I mean, I know that your book, Growing Up Psychic,
Yes.
has been out for about a year. A lot of people are talking about it, not only because you provide insight into your own life, but also some advice for parents that might be hearing some unusual confessions or observations from their young children.
From their own children. A lot of parents hear these sort of things from their kids and think, oh, my kid may be having emotional difficulties or mental problems. But when they dig deeper and look at it more closely, all those things can be ruled out, and there's no other explanation except the fact that something unexplainable and real is happening to these children.
Now, Chip, the viewer response that we had when we offered up a live reading with you was absolutely overwhelming. And in just a moment, we're going to meet the viewer that's won this live sit down with you. But I also have to confess, we received some cynical emails, some comments from people who say that this is nothing but a bunch of hooey. What's your response to people that don't necessarily buy into the observations of a paranormal activity?
You know, I try not to be someone who tries to convince or convert anybody to my ways of thinking. It's almost a futile conversation to have with those people because they're so set in their ways and so set in their ideas that it's just going to turn into a negative conflict. So honestly, I don't really care what somebody else believes. That's all right. Believe what you want to believe. I'm going to believe what I want to believe, and we may never meet in the middle, but that's okay. I know what I've experienced. If you experience something that happens like this, you're going to be calling me to help. Okay,
well, we want to hear about Reagan's experience right now, so allow me to invite you to take a seat here as we welcome Reagan to the program. Reagan is a Breakfast Television viewer who provided some really incredible photographs of Reagan, well, what you claim to be a spirit that's essentially taken over your living space. Why don't you, I'll hand things over to Chip. Tell him what your experience has been.
Yeah.
So for the last 2 months, I've been experiencing some paranormal things going on with me and my family.
Such as?
Some scratchings.
Okay.
Light switches, the lights burning out.
You said that you heard a young girl singing lullabies, Reagan.
Yeah, my partner and I, we heard a little girl singing a lullaby. Just the other night, I felt something tug on my shirt and said, "Mummy."
One of the things that I would tell you or anyone else who would call me about any sort of activity is, until it goes to a place where it's malicious or malevolent, don't worry about it, because weird things can happen in any environment. Hearing people walking, singing of a lullaby doesn't distress me. Lights blowing out doesn't distress me. But what really distresses me is the fact that you're saying that physical harm happened to folks in your environment.
Yes.
That concerns me to a degree because somebody's being hurt, you're being hurt. The thing that an investigator is going to do, and I understand you're having some investigators come in, what an investigator is going to look at is what's going on in your personal life, what's going on in the environment that's third dimension. And you and I had a chance to actually talk a little bit earlier, and you've had some things going on in your personal life. You've had some conflict and some negative things going on in your personal life. So what I would tell you and everyone else, bring the best of yourself to the world, and you're not going to give any feeding ground for the negativity to attach to you. So while you're working on you, and you said that you were, when we had a chance to very briefly chat before, you're taking care of you, and that's going to make things better on the paranormal level.
Yes.
As an observer here, can I clarify what you're saying here, Chip? Are you saying that sometimes people's personal experiences will invite in a paranormal influence?
Absolutely.
Or are you saying that she may be misperceiving what she perceives to be paranormal activity?
It could be either or.
Okay.
It could be either or because those things happen. But if you've got discord and dysfunction and depression and anger and sickness or any of those things going on in your environment, that's going to provide this fertile feeding ground for negativity to attach to it. They love that stuff.
I want to see these photos again, Reagan, that you provided to us. Let's take a look at them so I'm clear here. You're suggesting that this influence in here, and this is one where you claim to see a face, but I'm talking about the photos where there's actually scratches and markings on the body. You're saying that there's been no human influence here. Chip, have you seen something like this before?
Absolutely, it's not uncommon. One of the things that can happen is it could be a demonic entity, a low-level or a high-level demonic entity. If I had to psychically figure it out, you probably have something that's fairly low level, but I've not been at your home. I would have to tell you that I think that if you have a faith-based belief system, a lot of prayer, a lot of positive energy, a lot of cleaning up the emotional and environmental things that are going on in your life, plus there's something else I want to do. I was raised Catholic. And if you hear sound, people hate me because of my bling that I wear, but those are my religious medals. I have something I want to give you. This is a St. Benedict prayer card. St. Benedict was known for battling evil and particularly the demonic. On the other side is the St. Michael prayer card, God's warrior angel. Both of those prayer cards are in there with the powerful prayers that are attached to them, plus 2 religious medals, St. Michael and St. Benedict. I'd like you to have those as a gift from me, and please keep them with you. Hopefully they'll provide you some sense of comfort and protection. And if you continue to improve what's going on in your 3rd dimension life, taking care of you,
Yes.
Reagan,
Yes.
and taking care of everything that's around you and making sure that's good, will help get those folks in and boot out whatever is bothering you from the paranormal arena.
Does this make you feel somewhat better?
Yes, it does.
When he talks about demonic influence, does it make you even
That
more
scares-
nervous than before?
that
Or had you
scares me.
suspected that?
I had suspected that.
We don't know that yet, though.
But we don't know that.
We don't know that yet.
You know what I think we might need to do is keep this conversation going. Are you willing, Chip, to give Reagan a few more minutes of your time off camera?
Of course.
Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to facilitate this off camera during this commercial break. We're also going to set you up with 2 VIP passes to go see Chip Coffey here in Edmonton. If you want to know more about that show that's coming up, check out the Inside BT link on our website, breakfasttelevision.ca. Reagan, thank you for being here. Chip, thank you for your insight. We'll be back with more Breakfast Television right after this quick break.